as well as let me go start this live on Instagram. Live. All right, so some of the stuff. Hey, what's up? What's going on, guys? On IG, we are live. I found a way to make this tablet, keep this tablet from sliding, but that also means that this live stream will be done. That also means that the live stream will be done using. It will be done horizontally instead of vertically. It won't be probably not the way that you normally see it on your feed on Instagram, but I'm sure that you guys will be able to handle that. Okay, so the best thing to do is to go on YouTube to get the questions and answers. So other than that, you won't be able to see nothing. And then once I share my screen with you guys, that's how you'll be able to see what's going on. And if you have any question, you can post it in the chat, and we'll be able to answer them. All right, cool. Let me try to share my screen for a little bit. Screen share. All right. All right, guys. So this should do it. So some of the stuff where we left off last time, what's going on? It's only, is it Clevin? What's going on? So some of the stuff, if you want to see the screen, you got to go on YouTube to see it. Other than that, you won't be able to see anything at all. And this won't make any sense to you. So some of the stuff that we didn't see, Devin, and some of the stuff that we didn't see, we didn't get to see last time, is the point slope form. I know that I had some questions about that, and also the reduce row matrix. So we're gonna go in and do that now. Before I do all of this, so I think from this moment forward, what we're gonna do is, when we come in, we're gonna continue some of the stuff that we're working on. So what I'm doing is kind of like going through your whole class with you as you taking the class. I think that will probably have a lot more value instead of coming by and repeating the stuff that we already did. So if you guys are here all the time, so what we're gonna do is every time I come in, so let's say today I start with solving equations with one variable. Tomorrow it might be the next time I come in live, it might be inequality. The next time I come live, it might be system of equations. And then we build upon what we're doing. And if somebody needs to catch up, they can just go in the previous video and see what was going on, and then they'll be able to catch up that way. So, and that's what we're gonna do. Let me double check that we are live on. I haven't double checked that we're live, but I think we should be fine. So we should be live on YouTube and Facebook as well. So let's start with what we're going to talk about today: point slope form, and then the reduced row matrix. So point slope form, so it's one of the forms that we use. You can see when you solving equations. We're gonna use that. We're gonna talk about that, and then we're gonna talk about reduced form equations. And then I think I have some other stuff that I want to talk to you guys about is completing the square. I don't think I have done this in a while here, so we're gonna talk about that as well. Okay. Any questions, guys, before we get started? Ryan, P White, what's going on? Any questions? No. All right. So point slope form. Let me move my water for a little bit. So if you want to see the screen, of course, go to YouTube. Point slope. Why am I writing slope like this? Form. Let me see if you guys are on YouTube. Yay, Joe. Okay, Joe's live on YouTube. If you're on Facebook too, say what's up. What's going on, Joe? So if you go on YouTube like Joe, you'll be able to see the screen. So that's why he's able to see the screen and also type any questions. Go to YouTube Live and no questions. Okay, good. Yeah. Asia. Yeah, good. I'll see you at the chat on YouTube Live. All right, cool. So, let's say that you have and let's say you have let's say that you have, for example, you have a graph like this. This is the x-axis, and this is the y-axis. Let me change my pen because this one is messing up. Give 1 second, y'all. I'm gonna change the pen and get a better one. The one that I was using is not quite right. Okay, so let's say that you have, this is the so you have an x-axis and a y-axis. So let's say that you have a couple points on it. You know what? I can do a better job drawing this. Let me use actual lines to draw this. Not this one, but this guy's. So let's say that you have an x-axis right here. It goes this way. Not too shabby. And then the y-axis is this way. Ooh. That's what's supposed to go exactly on it, but that's fine. Let's pretend that this is exactly on here. And let's say that you have a point here, and then we're gonna name this point A. And who can tell me what's the coordinate of the point A? And we're assuming all of these are 1. So this is the point 0, 0. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So who can tell me what's the coordinate of the point A? -1, -2, -3, and then 1, 2, 3. And let's say that we have a point B here. That is, I guess you guys already get this. The fact that these are the negative numbers, and I'll just mark these. So each one is 1 unit, and you can see from the grid that it's 1 unit. So let's say you have another point here. That's point B. That's right here, maybe. And who can tell me what's the coordinate of A and what's the coordinate of the point B? And from what you can see on the screen, it's just another way for me to make sure that the screen's working too. Let's see. Let's go. 4, 3. Megan say 4, 3 point A. And what about B? So okay, she said 4, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's right. That's the point A is of the coordinate 4, 3. 4 for X and 3 for Y. And what's the coordinate of the point B? Megan, Joe. App for calculus. I'll give you a site that might help you answer some questions. It's called Wolfram Alpha. And if you Wolfram Alpha, I have no idea why that name, but this helped me a lot. I remember this helped me a lot in college when you have questions that are like tough and you want to know how to solve it. Certain things you can plug in almost any math stuff in there. It'll give you a question and answer for it. Try that. I don't know if there is an app. I know there's an app called Photo Math or something like that. You guys probably know that. I have not used it. You say you're in differential equation or what? I have not used the photo math app, but Wolfram Alpha will help you when you have questions that it's free too. They might have some paid. I mean, they probably have some paid options, but let's say that you say, "Hey, I want to know what's the slope of this line." You'll be able to use it. Okay, someone say stochastic also work really well. I'm not sure if that's free or it works for all subject. Okay. I don't know. I don't know about that. Okay, stochastic. I'll write it on the screen as she mentioned it. Socratic. Socratic. Hopefully that's the pronunciation of the app. Uh, so that's, if you go on the screen, you'll see those two. This is the website, and someone say this is an app that works well. Have not used those. Yeah, she said Kaya say the app is free. It works for all subject. I might have to try it. I have not used it, but I mean, when I give you guys those information, but you gotta understand too, the point of it is not for you to have something that solve your problem, your homework for you. Uh, thank you, Kaya. Uh, it's not to have something that solve your problem for you, because eventually you're gonna need to know them, especially if you gotta take tests about those things. You're gonna need to know them, and uh, and uh, and uh, and you're gonna need to know them. You won't even be able to solve it if every time that they give you a homework, you just go to your app and then get an answer. That's not the point. The point is, like, you can use it to check your questions, but also if you like really, you don't, certain things you're not clear, you don't have clarity about, you can just go and look it up, just check yourself. And that's how I would use it myself. Yeah. All right. That's cool. Okay. So Kaya said the app also. I might have to try that. I might have to try it. Okay. It shows you how to solve it, and it gives you related website. Okay. That's good. Okay, that's good. Nice. All right, cool. So okay, let's go back to what we're doing. So we're talking about point slope form. So and so what's the coordinate of the point B? Let's go coordinate of the point B, -5, 2. Asia, Megan, Catlin, everyone's saying -5, 2. Let me double check. So where did I put this? All right, cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, -5, and then you go down to. Did you say -5, -2, or -5, 2? All right, so I see -5, 2. All right, so the point B is right here. So let's go for x, 1, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Y, we know the positive all above 0, and the negative all below 0. So y, the positive all above 0. Negative. No, I'm not a teacher. So negative or below 0. I think this is, you guys are close. The -5, 2. That's not what I would say. There you go, Megan. Yeah, -5, -2. Yes. -5, -2. That's what I would say for this one. -5, -2. Now, okay. So let's give you the idea of the point slope form. Generally, there's a, so if I draw this line, let me give you the idea of the point slope forms. So if I draw a line here from here to here, and let me use my line tool just to be fancy a little bit. Okay, so if I draw this is a segment, not a line, but if I draw a line here from the point A to point B, this line have a slope, and also there's also an equation associated to that line. And if we can find the equation, we can also find the slope of the line. So now, normally when they write equations, and how do you guys normally see it? And it's the stuff that people talk about a lot: y equals mx plus b. And that's what you normally see on your algebra book, mx plus b. And so if we wanted to know y equals mx plus b, which we're going to solve at the end, let me say we're going to solve that at the end. If we wanted to know y equals mx plus b, we can do that. But there's also another form that we can represent the same equation. That same equation we can represent in the form that's called the point slope form. So the idea of the point slope form is just a different way to represent it, but also it gives you a better, it gives you a better representation of what point they use to write the equations. And the way that looks is the point slope form looks something like, so y, it would have the variable y minus the y of the point A is equal to the slope m x minus the x of the point B, A. Or you can say, you can write it in terms of A, or you can write it in terms of B. So when you look at this equation right here, you'll say, oh, okay, the point A is of a coordinate. This is the x coordinate of the point A. Oh, Lord. Jesus Christ, bro. All right, I don't know why. All right, so the live stream is banned on TikTok. I am not sure why. But it's banned on TikTok. So I'm gonna see if I can go live here on Instagram. Let's see. I'll go live on Instagram using my phone. So let me see. Yeah, if you were on TikTok, the live for some reason they banned the live stream on TikTok. I have no idea. I'll tell you what. I don't know why. Every time I go live on TikTok, they ban it, and I have no idea. I don't know how you ban something that talks about math. Give me 1 second. Let me post this on. I'm not sure why this happens, but if you were on my TikTok channel, welcome back to Instagram. But the best way to see the screen too actually is go on YouTube. If you go on YouTube, you'll be able to see the screen. So what we're talking about here is the point slope form. So the way that works is saying that, hey, this is the equations for the point slope form. So y minus ya x m times x minus xa. And if you want to use the y, that means we use the point A of the coordinate xa and ya. Now, when we looked at the equation that we saw earlier, so what was the coordinate of the point A? 4 and 3, right? 4 and 3. Using this and also the point B, we can find what they call the point slope form. So now how do we do this? So first off, we based on what they say for the equation, we need the value of m, right? We need the value of m. And then we also have the x coordinate of the point A, which is 4, the y coordinate of the point B, which is 3. 4, what was that? 4, 3? Yeah, which is 3. The y coordinate of the point A, which is 3. Now, if we find all of those, we're gonna be able to write the point slope form. So we have y is a variable, it's gonna stay y. Ya is the y coordinate of the point A, m is the slope, x is another variable, xa is the x coordinate of the point A. Now, okay, so how do we do this? So we know A is of a coordinate. Let me write a different color for no reason at all. A, the coordinate of the point A we saw was 4, 3. Now we know we need an equation that looks like y minus ya is equal to m x minus xa. Now, the only thing that we don't have here is, for the point slope form, is the m, right? Y. We know y is 3. The value of the y coordinate of the point A is 3. M, the x coordinate of the point A is 4, right? So now how do we find the slope? Who can tell me how we're going to find the slope of the line? How we find the slope of the line? You say you fell in math because you're not good at slope. Okay, this might help. So yeah. So how do we find the slope of the line? To find the slope of the line, so easy, right? So we know the point A is of a coordinate 4, 3. The point B is the coordinate of the point B is what? -5, -2. Okay. Based off of that, this is A, and we know B. Let me put B here. Is of the coordinate -5. Is that right? It is. And x is equal to -5 and y is equal to -2. Now, to find the slope m, which is this one right here, is equal to, what you do? You take the y coordinate of the point B minus the y coordinate of the point A. um, YB minus YA divided by XB minus XA. I don't want to just give you a full, like a, just give you a formula to remember. I want to tell you what this means. So what it is the rise over run. So what we're going to see here is, so this is the line that we draw earlier. So the difference, so the slope would be the, let me write this in a different color so you understand what we're going to do. Maybe a blue color here, a green. So it's going to be the difference in Y values, the difference. So you see how this one is right here, all the way right here, and this one is all the way up here. It's going to be the difference in Y values over the difference in X value. So the difference in Y values is B is all the way right here, and A is right here. So B is at what? -2. A is at 3. What's the difference? What's the difference? So if I'm going from -2 to 3, so I'm going to go -2, and then I'm going to go 0, 1, 2, 3. What's the difference? What's the distance for this one? What's the distance is going to be? What's the distance going from -2 to 3? So it depends on which one you started with. So if I'm starting from B to go to A, I'm going to have to go up 5 units. And you guys probably say that already. Let's see. Yeah, so if I'm starting from B and I'm going to A, I go up 5 units. If I go from B and I need to go to A to the right, I go 5 units, and then I have to go another 3 units to get to point A. Now, let's scroll up for a little bit. So to go in the formula. So what I say is the slope would be the Y coordinate of the point B, which is what? Which is -5 minus the Y coordinate of the point A. So it was difference in height minus the difference in length. So if you could think of it that way, but normally you would say rise over run. So it's difference of, how far up, how far they are apart in terms of height. The point B was at -2, and the point A is at 3. So actually not 5, -2. Difference in height, -2 minus 3 divided by the difference in what? And how in run. So -5 all the way to the left, go all the way to the right, 2 plus 4 minus 4, right? So YB minus YA, and then if we change this, XB 5 minus XA 3. Does that make sense? The person who said we had a question with slope, does that make sense to you now? You understand why we do it this way? Rise over run, YB minus YA, XB minus XA. Okay, Manny said he gets it. All right, cool, nice. All right, okay. So now all we have to do is just solve this, right? What's -2 minus 3? That's -5. And -5 minus 4, that's -9, right? And the slope is a positive slope, as you could see, because as you could see in the picture, it was a positive slope because it goes, it goes this way. It didn't go that way. That would make it a negative slope. So it goes this way. That means a positive slope of 5 over 9. Because when you simplify this, it gives you 5 divided by 9. Now, what else can we do with this information? So we have the slope is 5 over 9. Now we go back to our formula. What the formula said for point slope forms. So it's the Y value of this minus the y coordinate of the A, M, x minus the x coordinate of the point A. So let's go back. So we know that would be the y. That would be y variable minus the y coordinate of the point A, which was what? 3, is equal to M, which we found was 5 over 9, right? And I should have picked better values. I was doing this on top of my head. X minus the x coordinate of the point A. What's the x coordinate of the point A? And we saw it. 4, right? 4. All right, does that make sense to you guys? Am I making sense? Okay, so it's to say you got it. Okay. All right, Asia got it. Yeah, say it makes sense. All right, cool. Yeah. So that's it. That's how you do it. So now, what else can we do with this information? What else can we do with this information? From that point on, we can go back to the regular form that we normally know, which is the y is equal to mx plus b form. Y is equal to mx plus b form. We can go back to that form, right? So if I have this y here and I have 3, if I on this side I only need y, I don't need the 3, so I'm adding 3 to both sides. I add 3 to both sides. But I have to also distribute to make that look like the way I want it to look. Okay, so let me start. Let me start. First, we're gonna go from the point slope form to the y is equal to mx plus b form, which is the normal form that we know the slope intercept form. So let's see. So I'm gonna go from the point slope form to that form to the regular y equals to mx plus b form. So what we're gonna do here is we add 3 to both sides. Y is equal to 5 over 9 x minus 4 plus 3, right? I didn't do nothing crazy, right? So now what else we're going to do? So after I added 3 to both sides, what else I'm going to do is y is equal to 5 divided by 9 times x, right? I'm going to distribute that. I multiply 5 divided by 9 times x, plus I multiply 5 divided by 9 times negative 4. So that gives me negative 4 times 5 divided by 9. And then I added the 3 to it. So y is equal to what? 5 divided by 9, x. Negative 4 times 5 is negative 20 divided by 9 plus 3. Now, okay, we're almost at the y is equal to mx plus b. So we already got the y. I mean, I'll show you in a different color. We already got y. We already have the slope, which is m. And we have the x. We just need to make this one a b. Now, let's see how we can add this 20 over 9 plus 3, right? The fastest way I know how to add those is to put a 1 right here. Think that there's a 1 here. Multiply the 20 by the 1. Multiply the 9 by the 3. Multiply the 9 by the 1. So what you do is multiply this way. And then you keep the sign in the middle. You multiply this way. And then you multiply that way. So what I'm doing is 20 times 1, 20. Negative 20 times 1. That gives me what? Negative 20. I multiply, and then I keep the sign in the middle. Plus 3 times 9. 20, what's 3 times 9? 27? 27 divided by, and then I multiply this way, 9 times 1, 9, right? So that gives me, that equals to what? Equals to, and if I had picked better numbers, it would have been easier for you guys. It's equals to 7 over 9, right? So the equation of the line, so this whole thing gives me 7 over 9. The equation of the line that I was looking for is y is equal to 5 over 9 x plus 7 over 9. Now, here is the moment of truth. I could do all this and make a mistake. Now, the way I need to, the only way to know this is is going back into the equation and plug the point B to see if we made any mistake. So let me do this in a different color so you don't get confused. Let me do this in this color. So I know the point B was, what was the coordinate of the point B? Point B was of the coordinate, what? 5, -2. -5, -2. And you guys say that I didn't. So let's go up. Let's move the screen up a little bit. So we're going to go -5, -2. So let's see. So that means B is of the coordinate -5, -2. So if I plug in -5 for x, if I plug in -5 for x, I'm going to get a y is equal to -2. Let's see if that's the case. Okay, so 5 divided by 9 times a -5 for x plus 7 over 9 is equal to what? Okay, let's do this. What's 5 multiplied by 5? By -5, -25, right? Plus a 7 divided by 9. Okay, what's -25 plus 7? Is what? Maybe I made a mistake. -25 plus 7 is 18. -18, right? Divided by 9. What's -18 divided by 9? -2. Lo and behold. So we found that the y coordinate is -2. That means what we did was good. So let me recap. What was the point of all of this? What did we do in that about 30-minute span? So this is what we did. So we started with, ignore all this for now. We started with 2 points, a point A and a point B. And we wanted to know the point slope form. So what we did is, we know what the formula for the point slope form is. We wrote down the formula for the point slope form right here. And we said, okay, y is a variable, x is a variable, y(a), give it to me because this is the y coordinate of the point A. Xa is the x coordinate of the point A. M is the slope. The only thing I didn't have is the slope. So we calculate the slope using this formula for slope, and we found the slope to be 5 over 9, and that was the slope. Now we went back to the equation, to the form of the equation to write it. So the only thing that we were missing was, in this equation, was what? Was the slope, right? So I said y, and that's what I did, y minus ya is equal to the slope times x minus xa. And that was it. Now, we could have been, we were basically done here. They asked us to calculate the slope form. So what I went on and did from the point slope form, we calculate the slope intercept form. So from that, we calculate the slope intercept form, and which is the y is equal to mx plus b. And then we verify that this was good. Now, any questions? Any questions, guys? Yeah, y is equal to -2. Yes, that's right, Asia. Any questions? Questions? Yes, no, maybe? We're going to move on to something different. Question, guys? Nope. I don't see any. Emily, I would probably have to see what you referring to exactly. If I have an example, it'll be easier for me to see to be able to help you. I don't want to just give you a generic answer. If I have an example, it'll be easier to help you. So here's what I would suggest. Like, next time you see a video about, let's say you see a video about me about to go live, what I would do is, I don't know why I have this showing instead of the camera. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Yeah, what I would do is just comment on there and say what you want to see. And then, or if you have a way to write it down so I could see it, and then I'll next time I go live, I'll just go over it. I don't want to mislead you, but if I have an example, it'll be better for me. It'll make a lot more sense for you using a concrete example instead of just talking about it. Does that make sense? Unless it's like a very, very general topic. Okay. Any questions, guys? Yes, no? All right, cool. Let me do something different. And then if I have time, I'll do something else that I was planning on doing. Okay, so let me do something different. Last time when we were talking and someone wanted to ask how to solve system of equations using reduce row matrix form. So sometimes in linear algebra they use reduce row echelon. So let's say that I have an equations x plus 5y system of equation as equal to 6 and a negative x plus 2y is equal to 1. Now, this is a system of equation, and as you know, there are many ways that we can solve this. We can use additions. We can use you can use substitution. You could find x, substitute it in the second equation, and then find y. We could use many ways we can solve for this. Now, there's a different way that if we want to, we can solve it that way, and that's what the reduced row echelon form is. Reduce row echelon form, and that's what we're going to use to solve for this. So the way you want to do this is think about you have a matrix, and this won't be crazy stuff. I'll show you what we're doing. So this is a matrix, and then I'm going to take the coefficients that are in front of each one. This one has a coefficient of 1. And that's a matrix. It's a coefficient of 1. This one has a coefficient of 5. Now, who can tell me what I'm going to put here by using common sense? Like, who can tell me what I'm going to put in this circle right here? Who can tell me what I'm about to put? What's the coefficient that's in there I'm about to put? Anyone? What's the coefficient in here? What's the number that I'm gonna put here? And then what I'm doing is using a matrix to write the coefficient of each one of those. So this one has a coefficient of 1 in front of it. This one has a coefficient of 5 in front of it. And I already put the 5. And this one actually has a coefficient of 2 in front of it, right? You see how it goes? This goes with this goes with this, and then this one is 1. What needs to be here in this place where I'm circling right now? Come on, guys. Let me see if I can find an answer. Anyone? All right, cool. So in that row that I'm referring to there needs to be a negative 1. And it's nothing, it's not, it's nothing confusing. It's confusing. I just replace the coefficients and put them here. So in this way, I have a negative 1 here. So on the right side, what you do is you put the 6 and the 1. So the 6, so this is the left side, which has the equations. And then this is kind of like the equal sign. And then you put the right, whatever is on the right side. And this is how you set up the reduced row form to solve a system of equation. What you want to do is end up with an equation that a matrix on the left before the bar that has a 1 here as leading coefficient for the first row, and has a 1 here for the second row, and then has 0 here and a 0 here. And then you would have sets of numbers. It doesn't really matter what number here and then another number here. So this is what we're shooting for. So what we want is a 1 here. This already has a 1, so we don't have to do nothing else. It was set up that way. Now let's try to see how we can make this a 0. this second row is 0. And the name reduced row echelon, so that means we're mostly dealing with rows. So the second row right here, and understand that the row is everything that's in there, including the one to the right. Whatever we do here on the left part is going to affect the one on the right. So this number right here, that's what I mean by the one on the right. Now, how do we make this a 1, a 0? If I want to make this a 0, this is 1. Let's say I add this row, first row to the second row. So if I add the first row to the second row and I replace what I got by what I replace the second row by what I have. So let me see. So what the operation that we're going to do, we're going to take row 1 plus row 2, and then I'm going to swap that for row 2. So whatever was on row 2, I'm going to replace it by row 1 plus row 2, and that's what's going to become row 2. Now, am I confusing you? Do you guys have any questions? -1. That was good, Asia. Yeah. You guys have any questions? Okay, so no questions. Let's continue. So what we're going to do here is saying, okay, I have row 1 plus row 2, and I'm going to swap that and replace it by row 2. Give me 1 second. Let me see if that's coming up. So you from Africa? All right. Apparently, okay, now I can go back live on Instagram, on TikTok. I don't know why. Sometimes it goes out. And let me set this up on. If you guys want to see the screen, please go to. If you want to see the screen, please go to. If you want to see the screen, please go to YouTube, and that's the best way to see it. Now. Shira, what's going on? So now how do we here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take row 1, add it to row 2, and then we're gonna replace everything, and then we're gonna call that our new row 2. So row 1 plus row 2, let me rewrite those so you guys understand, so we see what we have. So I have 1, 5, 6, -1, 2, 1. So this is what we have. This is the matrix that we have. 1, I don't know why I'm writing with this marker. 1, 5. And then on the right side, we have 6, -1, 2. And then on the right side, we got 1. Okay, so I'm going to take this row, I'm going to add it to this row. And what we get is what's going to become our new second row. So 1 plus 1, we were literally adding 1 plus 1. What is that? 1, actually 1 minus 1, that's 0. 2 plus 5 is 7. 1 plus 6 is 7. That, what we just found, is our new row 2. Remember what we're shooting for. We're shooting for a matrix that looks like, that has 1 as leading coefficient in the first row, and a 1 here. So now we're shooting for a matrix that looks like this. The first thing that we're gonna do is saying, okay, I know what this matrix looks like. So, and this one needs to be 1, and I need a 0 here. To get a 0 in the second row on second row first column, what we need to do is just add the first row to the second row. When I add 1 plus a -1, that's going to give me a 0. And that's right there is my new row number 2, right? So this is going to become my new row number 2. So row number 1 doesn't change, 1, 5, 6. And my new row number 2 that I just found, let me actually write the row number 1 in red that you know that it doesn't change. 1, 5, 6, 1, 5, 6. I didn't do nothing to it because I wasn't trying to change that. And the new row that I just found is -1. Actually, this needs to be in blue. I don't know why the color is not changing. -1. No, actually 0. That's what I just found. 0, 7, and then another 7. Now, okay. So now I accomplished 2 things here already. I made this one a 1, which actually they give us that already. This one was 1. This is a 0. These 2 are gone. Well, we didn't make this a 0. So let's try to make this row 2, column 2 a 1. It's a 7 here. How do I make it a 1? It's a 7. I need to make that a 1. So right here, second row, second column is a 7. I need to make that a 1. How do I make that a 1? If it's a 7, I appreciate you, Fiona. If it's a 7, how do I make it a 1? So how do I go from a 7 to a 1? I divide by 7, right? I divide by 7. So I'm going to divide this by 7. So what I need to do is divide the entire second row by 7, and I'm going to call that my new second row. So I have row 2 divided by, my new row 2 is going to be row 2 that I have here divided by 7. And I'm going to call that my new row 2. I'm going to write it, put that in green, my new row 2. So my new row 2 is going to be everything, all of these divided by 7, 0 divided by 7, 7 divided by 7, and 7 divided by 7. So that's going to give me 0 divided by 7 is 0. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 7 divided by 7 again is 1. So that's going to be my new row 2. So now my matrix looks like row 2, 0, 1, 1, right? 0, 1, 1. And then row 1 in red still remains 1, 5, 6. 1, 5, 6. Now, look, this is what we're shooting for. I want to remind you what we're shooting for. We're shooting for 1 here, a 0 here, and a 0 here. Now I have the 1 here. I have another 1 here. I have a 0 here. I need a 0 here. Now, what do I need to do to make the last 0 show up? Yes, that way. Yeah, divide by 7. Good job, Asia. So what do I need to do to make the last 0 show up? So I have a 1 here in this entry, which is good. That's what I'm looking for. I have a 0 here, which is good. That's what I'm looking for. I have another 1 here, which is another thing that I was looking for. Now I have a 5 here. How do I make that a 0? So let's say I multiply the second row by 5, by -5, right? So if I multiply the second row by -5, this entry right here is going to be -5. And then this entry right here is going to be -5. So I multiply the second row by -5. If I add that to the first row, so that was a -5, and I add the -5 to the 5, that's going to give me a 0. -5 plus 5 is 0. So this is exactly what we're going to do. Our first row is going to become row 1, our new row 1, which I'll write in blue this time, or purple. Our new row 1 is what? The old row 1 that we had in red plus -5, and I'll put -5 here, times row 2. And understand that what we did. When I multiplied the -5 times the row 2, this entry is going to be -5, and then I add that to a +5. That's going to give me exactly 0 where I need it. So row 2 is going to be the same, and I'm not changing that. Row 1 is 0. I mean, let me do it one step at a time so you understand what I'm doing. So row 1 is going to be -5 times row 1. So times row 2, -5 times row 2. This entry is going to be 0. This entry is going to be -5. This last entry is going to be -5 again. And row 1 was 1, 5, and 6. So this is -5 times row 2. This is row 1, and I'm going to add them. Row 1, -5 times row 2, plus negative 5 times root 2. So I'm going to add them up. 1 plus 0 is do I need a 1 here? Negative 5 times root 2. Let's see. So 0 right here, right? Did I have a 0 here? Yeah, 0 is going to be here. But actually, let me see what we need. We need what we needed is we need a 0 here. So I have the 5 ones. So in order for us to get a 0, we can multiply this by negative 5 times row 2. Row 1 is going to remain the same. Negative 5 times row 2 is 0 is going to be here, and then this is going to be a 1, right? So I'm going to have a 0, 1, negative 5 times row 2 is 0, and then this one is 1, right? Because we already had 1, and that's give me 0 plus 1 is 1, right? And that's what's going to be replaced by row 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. Negative 5 plus 5 is 0. 6 minus 5 is 1, right? And that's what we're going to replace row 1 by. So what do we end up with? Row 1 is going to be replaced by what? And I wrote this in, needs to be in purple. I don't know if that looks like purple to you. 1, 0, a bar, and then a 1. What was row 2 in green? And is that, and I'll show you the whole point of doing all this shenanigan. What was row 2 in green? 0, negative 0, 1, 1. 0, 0. Actually, wait. What was row 2 in green? Yeah, 0, 1, and 1. I'll put it right here. 0, 1, and a 1 here. Now, what does this say? So I ended up with this. What does this say? This probably doesn't tell you anything. So what this is saying is, so if you think of these as X, and you think of this as Y, and you think of those as your numbers, so X, Y, and your numbers, actually, I don't need this. I need what this is appearing. X, Y, and your numbers. So what does that tell you? This is 1X plus 0Y is equal to what this number is, 1, right? 1X plus 0Y is equal to 1. That's the same thing as X. 0 times Y is 0 is equal to 1. That's how you solve for X. So now, what does the second row say? 0X plus 1Y is equal to 1, right? So what that tells you that 0 times X, which is 0, 1 times Y is plus Y is equal to 1. So that tells you Y is equal to 1. X is equal to 1, Y is equal to 1. If you verify those in this equation, indeed, you're going to find X is equal to 1, Y is equal to 1. So the equation that we had was X plus 5Y is equal to 6, negative X plus 2Y is equal to 1. And how do X is equal to 1? 1. 5 times 1, 1. So 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 is equal to 6. 1. 2 times 1, 2. Negative 1 plus 2 is equal to 1. So all this thing that we just did was to solve for the fact that to show you guys how to solve for this in a different way. Now, is this the easiest way to solve for this equation? No, it is not. But when you have equations that has many unknowns, and that's the easiest way to solve for them, especially when you get into linear algebra, where you can have 6 equation, 18 unknowns. So if you want to know how to solve for them, you probably need to use reduced row echelon, and that's how we use this one. That's why we use this for. Now, any questions? What do you guys want to see for next time? What are you working on that you need help with for next time? Jess.G24. Welcome. So what do you want to see for next time? What are you working on that you want to see help with next time? And going once. Asia. Let's see. Megan, everyone on YouTube, what do you guys want to see next time? What would you like to see next time? Angle relationships. Okay, let me write that for next time. Angle relationship. Can you elaborate on angle relationship? I'm not sure what you mean by that, angle relationship. What is it that you want to see? So angle relationship, that's a question for Asia want to see. Oh, shoot. ROBLOX. I wasn't looking at TikTok. I'm not ignoring you. What's up, man? I'm not ignoring you. ROBLOX LOLZS. I'm not ignoring you. What's going on, man? What do you want to see next time, my man? JDog917. Thanks for the follow. What would you like to see next time in our live? We're going live again next Tuesday. What do you want to see in terms of whatever class you're working on? Algebra, geometry, trig. Doesn't really matter. What would you like to see next time? Geometry. Yeah, I know a little bit of geometry. What would you like to see? Megan Taylor. What would you guys like to see? No, I'm not watching the debate. I'm live. I'm not watching it now because I'm live with you guys. Parallel line, and what defines them. So you want to see what the definition of parallel lines? I had a question about geometry proof. Parallel lines. Parallel lines. So do you want to see parallel and a transversal? And what defines them? What defines them? Define. What else? What else you guys want to see? TikTok, YouTube, angle relationship, parallel lines. Okay, I don't see anything else. If I don't, I'm gonna close this out. Somebody said something else. Geometry proof. What kind of proof? What would you like to prove? Because there's a lot of them. Geometry proof. What would you want to prove? Prove in geometry. All right. Okay, I'll keep those in mind when I'm doing the presentation. So the other thing I wanted to tell you guys is, line segments that are parallel. Okay, parallel line segments. Okay, I'll talk about those. Anything else? I'm not ignoring you, Rob LOX. What's going on? No problem. Okay. All right, guys. I think this should do it for the night. And thank you very much for coming by. If you have any questions, you can comment on any of my videos, any questions, anything that you want to see that you didn't get to add. So we'll talk about them. And thank you all for coming out. Let me end this right now. And I'll save that on IGTV. Let me end the live stream. And thank you guys for coming by. And I appreciate you all. And I'll see you all next time. Thanks. Bye.